This meeting is called to order. Stella, if you please read the call.
Notice of public meeting of the City Commission of the City of Brownsville. Pursuant to Chapter 551, Title 5 of the Texas Government Code, the Texas Open Meetings Act, notice is hereby given that the City Commission of the City of Brownsville, Texas, in accordance with Article 5, Section 12 of the Charter of said city, will convene an executive session, workshop, and regular meeting on Tuesday, May 16, 2006 at 4:50 p.m., 5:05 p.m., and 6 p.m. in the Commission Chambers on the second floor of the Brownsville City Hall, Federal Building located at 1001 East Elizabeth Street, Brownsville, Cameron County, Texas. Executive session item A, discussion pursuant to Section 551.072 of the Texas Government Code regarding real property.
Mayor, I move to go into executive session.
Motion by Commissioner Camarillo, seconded by Commissioner Nettles. All in favor? All opposed? Motion carries. We'll be in executive session. All right, good afternoon. We're back a little late, ready to get started. Workshop, item A.
Item A, discussion regarding the Downtown Revitalization Advisory Committee.
Hey, Edward. This is
We were just supposed to represent.
this is somebody's sister, right?
Rachel Ayala's daughter. Actually, I can Ira Ayala Garza, I believe.
It's not shut right now.
Okay, Commissioner, you got the floor.
All right, Mayor, the rest of the
You
commission.
want to stand over there? No, I'm just kidding.
Mind or- I thought I'd go ahead and present the Downtown Revitalization Advisory Committee is a real important project, and to me, it's
This PowerPoint? I know we put a lot of time and effort into it. I can tell by the colors.
now I won't take credit for the PowerPoint. That's important to note. Mr.
Very
Chris
good.
Golden and Jerry Noriega, they've been real instrumental in putting together all this work, minutes, all the paperwork that goes into the committee. But I asked them to present because it's in my district, and it's important that I make I bring out a couple of notes.
All right.
So we'll go ahead and begin. Before I do begin with the second slide, I wanted to ask the committee members to go ahead and stand at this time. I'm very glad they took the time to come out here. So if I can have the members of the committee please stand and be recognized.
Hey.
There are 37 more of us, actually.
But you three are always doing all the work, we know. Here he comes, the other fourth.
36 more of us.
The highlight to our committee, Mr. George Ramirez. The beginning of the mission, one of the first things that we decided to do as a group was to create a mission and understand what our committee work or what our mandate was, pretty much. And so we came up with a mission. That's the second slide. The mission of the Downtown Revitalization Committee is the Downtown Revitalization Committee is committed to promoting the unique, multicultural, and historic significance of Brownsville, Texas, through the preservation, restoration, and economic development of its downtown district. This was established by the committee members as one of our first steps into the work that has been conducted so far. Our next slide was the focus area of the DRAC committee, and it was real important that we understand, well, where are our boundaries? Where do we want to begin? Downtown, it encompasses a lot of area. So the map that's ahead is where we decided to include as part of where this committee would begin to do most of its work. The map is there as follows. On the following slide, we decided to touch base on a couple of points that we have noted. The DRAC took its first steps by doing the following: mission statement as stated above. At the same time, the focus area, but also we did a workshop on completing visioning exercise, where each member of the committee decided to look at information that they felt was important to downtown. We also decided to use expertise and cooperation of information, and finally, by making an active commitment and taking personal ownership of the future of downtown Brownsville. This is some of the things that we looked at. We created what we had we decided to look at certain issues, and that's the next slide. The DRAC reviewed past reports such as the 2001 Hunter Interest Report for the redevelopment and restoration of the original Brownsville town site. We had guest speakers from city departments to help us tackle some of the issues that we knew that we faced. We researched the Brookings Institute 12-step plan, which is a revitalization, an application to downtown. That was brought up by Mr. Arteaga, who's one of our members. Wanted to look at some of the research that had already been done and then utilize how the changes we see today and put two and two together, but not reinvent the wheel. And so therefore the Brookings Institute 12 steps is a plan that we are currently undertaking to help in our revitalization. The next slide will show short-term goals. Series short-term goals were established, were developed by the DRAC, and a majority which have been reached, which is I think is real important for our committee. Among those goals have been the following successful accomplishments. First of all, I remember when I was going to Ben's office one afternoon, one of the gentleman who works outside the office asked me, is there a possibility to get the fountains running again? And the fact that he stopped me and made me aware that obviously we had fountains that weren't working. I'm happy to say that our fountains are working, and that's just one part I felt of what makes Brownsville what it is. So we got the fountains up and running. I want to thank Public Works and the gentleman who helped do that. So that was, I think, real important. The other fountains have already been, taken down and are actually being repaired, which is next to the Welta building and that little small paseo park. Those are actually being worked on. Future partnership with Welta is also in the works of maintaining that pedestrian park there. They want to make sure they want to take ownership of it. They want to clean it up. They want to make sure that it's a nice walking area for our downtown merchants and citizens of Brownsville. On the next slide, I want to also highlight some other accomplishments. I think some of these, if you go by downtown, you notice that it's a different time in downtown. The alleys are much cleaner, and that's due to city manager's help and having a twice a day trash pickup. We also have twice a day cleaning going on in our downtown area, which has been probably something that we haven't done. Usually it's once alleys get really dirty. This time around, we're doing twice a day downtown cleanup, which is real important to keeping and maintaining the appearance of our downtown.
And that's being done through GMS or?
That's being done by our GMS crew, is my understanding, and also partially part of our staff that's participating in those efforts.
At an extra cost or?
No additional cost goes to the owner or the merchant, to the business owner, nor to the city of Brownsville. And so I want to also recognize GMS for being instrumental in helping us maintain the cleanness of our downtown. So
I think it was through a verbal agreement. City manager spoke with GMS management, and they agreed to go ahead and pick up twice a day.
GMS has a major interest in how downtown looks, and I think for the future of downtown. So we're still working on talks regarding dumpsters and the issues that we face with that currently. So they're going to play a major part in that.
Good job.
We also want to look at the studies. We again talked about that downtown portion, citywide comprehensive master plan. I think some of this work that the committee has undertaken is going to be extremely useful to our citywide master plan, and so that's just a little bit of what has been taking place. On the following slide, we've had a creation of a newsletter will be taking place real soon. That'll be distributed around the community. Again, we've had better cooperation between PUB and the city. A lot of our lights had been, mishandled and broken and things of that nature. PUB and Mr. Capitano have graciously now, we've been a little bit more, I guess, proactive in terms of doing what's going, fixing the problem, and having more city staff being aware of if we've noticed something's out of place, stepping up to the plate and trying to get it done. So I really appreciate their efforts in helping us with that issue. So glows are being replaced all throughout the downtown, and we're keeping a much better eye on them. The following slide We look at some other work that has been done that encompasses part of our downtown, St. Charles Park. You know, we've heard a lot of issues about the park, and I'm happy to say that we had a lot of work going on over there. I was out there on Friday, and Mr. Andres was one of our sprinklers technician, had just replaced the entire sprinkler system at that park, and he was doing a lot of work. So a lot of care and time and management's been going into bringing that park back up to par so we can reopen it hopefully by the end of the week or the following week. So that's some good work that's been taking place. There's a citizen crime watch group that's also trying to be established. One of our city employees actually lives on St. Charles Street. And so I've asked him to help undertake efforts to establish the neighborhood watch, but so that we make this area a little bit more resilient. It's important that the people take ownership of the park. It was closed to protect the children of that area, and I look forward to when we open it. But at the same time, I tell the kids when I've gone out there, you know, this is not my park, this is their park. And so with the city's help and with the neighborhood group, I think we're going to better help prepare and protect the park so that we avoid the future problems that we've had in the past. The park will have its grand opening celebration in the summer. We look forward to that one. The next slide, again, going back on some more accomplishments, I think that are real important. The DRAC was instrumental in putting together the Capitol Theater improvements soon to take place. Part of that is the roofing that we've had leaking in the roofing. Getting rid of the infestation of bats, the guano, looking at putting some restrooms in there. And people might say, well, why is this committee looking at the Capitol Theater and trying to fix it up a little bit? Well, this past October we had a group, a nonprofit organization called the JCs, and they ended up putting a spectacular event out there for different clientele in the community. A lot of different people came to downtown that had no idea about the Capitol Theater, and it was a real successful event. But it'd be nice to go into that building, kind of fix it up a bit, give it a good paint job, and hold numerous events so that we can help market downtown, so we can bring some more growth down there. And I look forward to seeing that happen real soon. So we've taken the steps to clean it up and make it look decent so that we can hold different events and help our downtown area. So I wanted to thank that group and staff to getting us the quotes and things of that nature. And it looks like we're going to be moving on this project real soon. On the following slide, we'll look at some other accomplishments for downtown. Again, the area business owners are taking ownership. We look at the visioning related materials in past meetings form the base of the downtown portion and comprehensive master plan. Again, I think every step in terms of the activity that is taking place will lead to the completion and the organization of that master plan. On the following slide, there are some other issues that will take a little bit of time, and these are some of the long-term goals that the committee has put forward, but these are also some of the goals that were addressed in the Hunter report. And one of our committee members is the housing director, and we had a real good discussion last week regarding housing and how we're going to hopefully help complement what is lacked in terms of family housing at the university and what we're doing in downtown with the city. I think that's going to be real important, and I think there's going to be a great partnership there that's going to be made again to help the situation in terms of housing, providing for students that have families, which is becoming a major issue right now. Parking has been the other thing. How can we live on campus without parking? Well, we've already looked at some of the short-term goals of parking and use how the city will help with that. We'll be looking at that a lot closely, maybe even possibly doing another study of the parking in the near future. Economic development, ordinance consistencies, that's probably been one of the major points that needs to be made. Partnering with banking institutions for the revitalization purposes, that's big. You know, we have a number of banks downtown, and it's important, that they help our owners, beautify their buildings. And so I look forward to meeting with them this week as we begin down that path of revitalization of our downtown. Try to say that one 3 times.
I'm glad you can
real
do it
fast.
and not say it.
So that's going to be real important. So I look forward to meeting with those institutions. last, again, the DRAC, I don't do it on my own, and that's really important. I've had a lot of real good people, and their names are as follows. Many of them have been called to this committee. Some people from our other city departments, and they've been there not just for that time to come and speak and address some issues, but they've continued to come back. And I really appreciate all their efforts in trying to help this area out and do something great. And I believe that one of the things that I always tell people, when we talk about downtown, I said, it's a gold mine, and sometimes it just takes a little bit of work to help bring it back up and where we want to see it one day. And I think we really will with their help and the rest of the commission's help. But on another note, we also have one of our members. His name is Tony Lehman. He told me a week ago that he has a website, and it's the I forgot the name of his organization, but there's a website that highlights downtown Brownsville and the historic aspects of his community. And there was a gentleman that has viewed the website. It's out of state. I mean, he's coming from Florida. By viewing the website, has now decided to open up a business in downtown. So through a viewing of a website, we've accomplished quite a bit. We're helping spur the economic development, but it's also taking some local individuals also to want to say, I'm going to put some money down and I'm going to do something real nice in our area. Mark Clark has been one of them, and there's been many others that are soon will be undertaking some major business ventures. So again, I wanted to bring this to the commission, and Mayor, hope you all recognize the efforts of this committee. I think there's more work to do. The committee is still going to continue to work hard so that we can continue to address some of the issues, as we will have a developing and growing downtown. And again, I just want to recognize Christopher Golden, Jerry Noriega. They work tirelessly for me and for this committee, and I greatly appreciate their knowledge and their expertise, as well as everyone everyone on that committee. Thank you.
Commissioner Murillo, let me speak on behalf of the commission. First of all, thank you for taking the initiative and having the drive to do this. We've been talking about this for a while, and I'm glad you took the bull by the horns. Again, you're to be commended, along with everybody else that's involved, especially the, we'll call them the two amigos, since they seem to do with everything in downtown Brownsville. Peter Goodman, and three amigos, Mr. Gavito, and what's that other guy's name? Oh yeah, George Ramirez. So I think we're making progress, gentlemen, and all of you are to be commended, and you certainly have the support of our commission. So thank you for doing this.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Next workshop item.
Item B, discussion regarding Phase 2 summary and Phase 3 implementation of the Community Broadband Infrastructure and Infrastructure Consolidation Recommendation Services Enterprise Modernization Contract for the City of Brownsville Management Information Systems Department.
Honorable Mayor and Commissioners, the purpose of this workshop is to give you a recap on the Phase 2 portion of this contract, which is now completed, and then a little bit of an implementation view of what is planned for the final phase, which is Phase 3. We have with us this evening the IBM team. It'll be represented by Billy Haynes, who will give you the recap on Phase 2 and Phase 3 implementation. And of course, our MIS Director, Gail Brusiak, is leading the city staff team. This is a very interesting project. There are a lot of staff members involved with it, and it's moving forward at a very good pace.
All right. You have, you're down to 16 minutes. Okay, we ran over a little bit.
I'll try to be brief. Thank you very much.
Welcome back.
As you know, just a really quick recap, the city has not invested in any new IT infrastructure for the core administration part of the government in over 20 years, and is very susceptible in the area of disaster recovery and failures. And it's a very important project, this enterprise modernization effort that we're working on right now. During Phase 2, the city contracted with IBM to lead the effort to do two major things, if you will. We did take a good bit of time, interviewed city staff in every department, and gathered the requirements for a new application that the city will implement to replace the systems that they use today. We gathered the requirements from every department. We wrote an evaluation criteria document which allowed us to evaluate the vendors that would bid on this, and we issued, in conjunction with the purchasing and MIS departments, an RFP for vendors to bid on the new application. All those bids were received and scored. A short list of 2 vendors has been developed. In fact, those 2 vendor demonstrations are going on all day today. One vendor was here, they'll be here in the morning, and the next vendor will be in on Thursday and Friday morning. So by the end of this week, we will have seen the short list of 2 vendors and been able to evaluate those in-person demos. Additionally, IBM did locate some legal expertise and did a franchise assessment and a franchise workshop for the city that looked at your current franchise agreements, current state law around franchises, newly implemented state and federal laws that will affect the city in the future, as well as some legislative trends that are coming down the pipe. The library was good enough to record that for us, and if you're interested in seeing that, that video is available for review. Additionally, the city has a decentralized MIS infrastructure. You have MIS within the police department, within the library, PUB, and of course Ms. Brusiak's IT department within the city. One of the things that we have done is form a working group for the geographic information system to allow those distributed groups to work more efficiently together and have a better GIS system for the city to use and perform city services. We did do a design of a wireless network for the city of Brownsville that would be deployed in phase 3, and we also assess the core network that's in place at the city today and make recommendations for improvement to make sure that those work together today. And we also did outline a strategy that would include a nonprofit organization that would be put in place to encourage the adoption of technology throughout the city, and also provide a sustainability mechanism for the wireless network in the future. If you look at the project, initially when we came to the City Commission, we asked for $6.6 million to do the entire project. We are on budget. We completed phase 2 and delivered our project on budget, and the remainder of the project, our estimates show that we'll be able to complete the entire project on budget.
We heard you.
If I can go to the next one, please. We're a little short on time. Okay. This is actually if you can go on through. Next one. There we go. So during phase 3, what the city will be doing is actually implementing the application that the team selects during the next couple of weeks. That application will provide a major foundation layer for the modernization of IT in the city. It will affect many, if not all, of the departments. It will allow the city to provide better services because the citizens will be able to interact with the government better through electronic systems and through the internet. And additionally, field workers for the city will be able to have access to information out in the field as they work. Additionally, IBM will be working with the city to implement an IT infrastructure that is resilient, that has failover capability, that will have modern techniques for avoiding disasters, so that in the future, if a major hurricane or something like that comes through the city, it will be resilient and allow us to have a greater degree of certainty that it will withstand those sort of trials. Additionally, so as part of this, if we can go to the next slide, we will be implementing a disaster recovery plan for the city that will include a couple of new data center facilities with all of the things that it needs in order to be resilient. We will write procedures and a plan for the city as far as disaster recovery, and best of all, at the end of the process, we're going to conduct a real live test, disaster recovery test, to make sure that the city is prepared. Additionally, the wireless pervasive network, we will be implementing a wireless network throughout the city, primarily for the use of public safety and field workers to conduct city business. We will also implement Wi-Fi coverage for the city of Brownsville parks during this process. That particular part of it has a really good payback on it to allow the the city parks to electronically control irrigation and lighting systems remotely, and hopefully save a good deal of money on water and electric. Additionally, we will be leading an effort to negotiate a contract with a wireless carrier. We actually have recommended that the city adopt a wireless service for providing these services to public safety and field workers. When we looked at the long-term cost of this project can provide wireless service for city employees longer term with this approach, and that is our recommendation. So we have a preliminary memorandum of understanding with the carrier. In phase 3, we'd follow through into a contract. Additionally, we've negotiated a business model with a carrier that would allow us to provide a sustainability mechanism. Hopefully, any income from that might help to offset the cost of the service. And so that's what we plan to accomplish in phase 3. Phase 3 is where we move from planning into actually doing things, and you'll begin to see systems transform and implemented over the next few months.
Time frame?
It's about a 12 to 14 month project. A detailed plan will be adopted within the next month or so after the contract is signed, but our high level plan now shows a 12 to 14 month time frame.
You talking about the contract with the provider?
The contract with the wireless provider would actually be a 5-year contract.
No, but I mean, you said when we get the contract. Is that the contract you're talking about, or?
No, I'm sorry, the one that's up for consideration
Okay,
tonight.
this contract, okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. Anybody have any other questions? Very efficient, thank you. And remember, under budget. All right, we'll have a short 10-minute break. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being with us this evening. We have a lot of business, but we'd like to also recognize that we have a special meeting this evening. First, let's begin with our Pledge of Allegiance. Leading us this evening will be from Champion Elementary, Tiffany Nerio, Alondra Molina. Tiffany's from 5th grade, Alondra's in the 3rd grade, and Priscilla Plancarte, 3rd graders.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor our Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one and indivisible.
Who will be leading our invocation this evening? Please step forward, brother. Thank you for being with us.
I'll walk the line.
En el mismo espíritu y al mismo Dios invisible que está entre nosotros y con nosotros, vamos a pedir en esta tarde y hacer la invocación que Él esté con nosotros. Amén. ¿Por qué no inclina su rostro un momento y oramos a Dios? Bendito Dios y Padre nuestro. Gracias una vez más, Señor, por la oportunidad tan preciosa que tenemos en esta tarde de reunirnos como hijos tuyos. Pedimos que las bendiciones del Altísimo sean con cada uno de nosotros que estamos en este lugar. Y por si alguno no ha llegado, Señor, tráele con felicidad para que también él venga a gozarse y a entender el negocio que tú tienes preparado para él en este día. Pedimos de la dirección preciosa para el mayor y todos sus asistentes que tú has puesto en dirección de esta ciudad. Bendice cada uno de los programas. Llena tú, Señor, cada corazón con esa paz que tú puedes dar. Y en el nombre de Jesucristo, Señor, yo te doy gracias porque siempre que venimos a ti, tú estás atento a nuestro clamor. En una manera muy especial, Señor, en esta tarde, cada asunto que aquí se trate, Señor, tú estés presente y pongas la dirección correcta para la bendición de esta preciosa ciudad y los ciudadanos que aquí nos representan, Señor, tus oficiales. En Cristo Jesús, Señor nuestro, pedimos todo y siempre daremos a ti, oh Dios, toda la gloria y toda la honra por tus ricas y preciosas bendiciones para con cada uno de nosotros. Amén y amén.
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 Gracias.
Gracias, brother. we would normally go to our presentations and consent agenda, but at this time, we've been missing somebody for a few months, although he showed up tonight, but not in his official capacity. And we're here to recognize and accept and welcome our newest city commissioner. At this point, item number 3, Stella?
Item number 3, consideration and action regarding the issuance of certificate of election, the administration of the oath of office, and assumption of duties of an elected official.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd ask you to please welcome our newest city commissioner, Mr. Charlie Atkinson. Charlie, bring your family up here to stand by you as you receive the oath. Also, I'd like to thank Judge Janet Leal for being with us this evening. She seemed to be a regular for this now, Judge. You're getting FaceTime now.
Family behind you? Family behind you? Right behind you.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor and Commissioners. I just want to do an unofficial canvass of the election, of the results of the City of Brownsville municipal election that was held on May 13th for the election of Commissioner District 2. Candidate Mr. Charlie Atkinson received 747 votes for a percentage of 59.52. Ms. Sydney Lazane received 508 votes for a percentage of 40.48. Total ballots cast were 1,255. The official canvass will be held on May the 23rd at a time to be determined.
At this time, I'd like to ask Judge Leal to please submit the oath.
Okay, before I do this, I want to just say a few words. Y'all want to remain standing for this?
Sure.
Yes.
Okay. Then I'll be brief. Because you're all standing. When Charlie told me that he was going to be running for city commission, I thought it was a great idea because he's such a conscientious person. I think that shows by the fact that, first of all, he's a customs agent, which tells you that he takes pride in living in this country, and he takes pride in his community, and that he wanted to serve his community already. If you look at his family background, they're all either in law enforcement or in education, which also tells you that he's got a very strong roots in our community and that they are also all community minded. They're either teachers or they're in law enforcement, which are probably the two most unappreciated fields that we have. We always take our law enforcement for granted, that they're always going to be there to protect us and keep us safe, but yet we're always the first ones who will criticize them. We have our teachers out there who get paid probably a quarter of what they're worth, because without them we cannot have our lawyers, we cannot have our doctors, we cannot have our other professionals. So these people have to care about our community to be able to get in those fields. The fact that his whole family is in one or the other tells you that the whole family is community oriented and that he was raised believing in his community. Charlie, the fact that you came out and ran for city commissioner tells us again your dedication to your community. It also tells you that you have the faith of the community behind you and that they put the faith in you to take this office. So when you're sitting up there, you're representing a lot of people who believe in you. All your family who's here with you, all your constituents, and all of Brownsville, who are counting on you to make the right decisions for them sitting there at the city commission. The fact that you have your roots so deeply in the community tells me that you will live up to that, and that you will do a good job for the city of Brownsville, and that you won't ever forget that you're there for us as the citizens of Brownsville. And I'm honored to be here to swear you in today. Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Charlie Atkinson,
I, Charlie Atkinson,
do solemnly affirm
do solemnly affirm
that I will faithfully
that I will faithfully
execute the duties
execute the duties
of the office
of the office
of District Commissioner 2
of District Commissioner 2
of the City of
of
Brownsville,
the City of Brownsville,
Cameron County,
Cameron County,
of the State of Texas,
State of Texas,
and will,
and will,
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability,
preserve,
preserve,
protect,
protect,
and defend
and defend
the Constitution
the Constitution
and laws
and laws
of the United States
of the United States
and of this state,
and of this state,
so help me God.
so help me God. Usually I just wing it because I try to speak from the heart. I didn't want to leave anybody out. So I would like to thank Judge Jalial for taking time from a busy schedule to be here and swear me in. I'm honored that a person who I admire and respect is swearing me in today. Electing a new position, and I'm glad the citizens of Brownsville will be benefiting from your experience and knowledge. I would next like to thank my campaign manager, Toy Sadetta, who's in the back, for all the hard work we did throughout my campaign. We were strong-minded, and we stayed on task to ensure that ultimate victory. I appreciate that from the bottom of my heart. I would like to thank all my friends and family who are here today, who supported and worked hard for me. You know who you are. I know, you know, a lot of people that, you know, I left someone down, I'll one week away. You worked hard without a single complaint, and I thank you for that. I would also like to thank all BUC members who worked diligently to get me elected. Finally, I would like to thank the citizens of Brownsville for going out and supporting me for City Commission. I will humbly serve as your City Commissioner and will work hard to protect the interests of all citizens of Brownsville for many years to come. Thank you very much.
All right, everybody can sit down while we take a few photographs. Let me add some commentary. Judge Leal mentioned two of the most underappreciated professions that Charlie's already involved in: law enforcement and education, teaching. However, the third one, and I got to tell you from experience, it's pretty underappreciated. You're going to find out real quick as soon as you sit up here. That's right. Let's give a big round of applause again to the new commissioner and his family.
Again.
The reason we did this a little out of order was I wanted to make sure that Commissioner Atkinson had an opportunity to sit in and attend the entire meeting and act on it. Item number 1, presentations.
Administrative report from the Greater Brownsville Incentives Corporation.
Okay, let the business begin.
I'm still outnumbered. Good afternoon, Mayor. Thank you, Mayor Trevino, for this opportunity to come in front of the commission and give you a brief read on how the GBIC is doing. Commissioner Longoria, Commissioner Atkinson, Cisneros, Camarillo, Arroyo, Hernandez, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you for being here, Mr. Herrera.
I'm Jose Angel Herrera. I'm the chairman of the Greater Brownsville Incentive Corporation. I'd like to acknowledge first a couple of persons, Mr. Ruben Gallego, who sits on our board,
Ruben?
and the president of BDC, Mr. Jason Hiltz.
Welcome, Jason.
I'd like to
Gallegos.
also mention the other names of the other board members, Ms. Norma Harrison, Mr. Ernesto Gomez, and Mr. William Hudson, which compiles the board of 5 members. Who has the control? Okay. Those are our board members. Next slide, please. This is how our organization is set up. Obviously, the commission appoints the GBIC board members. The GBIC board members is assisted by the city staff, and also we have an attorney who also acts as our counsel. The GBIC then contracts with the BDC, and the BDC obviously has a staff that does the work for the Greater Brownsville Incentive Corporation. I'd like to give you a little background on the GBIC. In 1991, obviously, the citizens of Brownsville established a 4A sales tax corporation, which consisted of a half-cent cents tax that was collected beginning in 1992. At that point, the GBIC contracted the BEDC, which is the Brownsville Economic Development Council, to coordinate economic development. Then in 2001, Brownsville elected to create a 4A and 4B sales tax corporation, which split the half cent into a quarter-cent tax to 4A and a quarter-cent tax to 4B. Next is the kind of a little history of where the amount of taxes that have been collected over the years since 1992. As well as you can see, back in 1992, there was a little bit over $2 million that was collected, and it grew there during the years to come. In 2001, obviously we had an election to split it. In 2002, there was a total collections of about $4.5 million. And in 2003, we saw the results of the split, which cut that in half to about $2.5 million. In 2005, as you can see, we're at about 3.3 million of taxes, and we estimate that if the growth continues to be in Brownsville as has been in the past, by the 2011, 2012, we will be back up to the same amount of money or sales tax receiving as we did back in 1990, as in 2002 when the split occurred to a 4A and a 4B. This is a little bit of the history on how the tax has been spent over the years. The total amount that has been collected has been $54 million. Projects expenditures since '92 been approximately $37 million. 46 companies have received about 50% of the money that was collected. UTB TSC received about 20% of the $37 million. The city of Brownsville, in conjunction with GBIC and certain projects, has received about almost 14% of the total amount of money, and a quality of life projects that we call it about 11%, which is included some landscaping, Dean Porter Park, the Brownsville Community Foundation, and the Palo Alto project. There has been about 3% of the money has been expended on some land acquisitions and some industrial park studies. The BDC operation budget consists about 80% of the total revenue, which is approximately $587,000, which is compared to what it used to be back in 2001, almost $890,000. Last year, the BDC came in at a $90,000 under budget, and also in its favor, the BDC does the same amount of work with 5 staff members as it used to do prior to 2002, which was a change of management of 10 people. So with almost half amount of money and half the amount of people, they've been doing the same amount of work or even more than it used to be in the past. Some of the good and the bad. Obviously, we had expended $4.5 million on the Titan, and to make that quick, we're in the final stages of finalizing some litigation so that we can recoup some of the money, approximately, hopefully, about $3 million of that money that was allocated. Converges, 1.8 million, which created about 1,000 jobs for Brownsville. Sunrise Mall, about 1.6 million. Obviously, about 1,700 new jobs. Amphel's 1.5 million, and it employs about 3,000 employees. Some of the medium-sized companies, Mueller Company, about 100 employees. Trico had a new expansion, created 75 new jobs. Carlin Technology, 20,000 square feet expansion, 35 new jobs. Unique Mold and Die, Premier Trim, and other small companies that have 5 years or less and created maybe 10 or 15 to 20 jobs approximately each company. Back in also when the management changed in BEDC, we also changed our incentive process. It used to be that the company used to come into town, they used to request funds, they used to be allocated it, and the funds were given into upfront. That led to us in the last few years having to go back and go through litigation to try to recoup a lot of the money after they didn't fulfill their obligations. Since then, we have changed, and now every incentive package that we allocate is all totally incentive performance based, and companies do not receive any money until after the first year, and audits have been done to prove that they have performed the way they said they were going to perform. Since then, we have had no defaults on the money that we have allocated, and hopefully with this in place, we will keep that from happening again. Usually this is the package is 2 years, is 2 to 3 years agreement. Again, performance based, no money, no jobs, no money is given out. Cash awards we allocate about $2,000 to $5,000 per job that is supposed to be created. And we also must comply with all the GBICs and the requirements that fall under the 4A legislation. 2004, 14 new job commitments and the average wage of $10 an hour were created. 2005, 3,500 new jobs were committed with an average wage of $9.70. There has been a total of 20 new maquiladoras registered in Matamoros the last 2 years, which obviously if they establish in Matamoros, they're spin-off jobs that are created in Brownsville. And we mentioned since 22 new jobs because I don't know if you all, the commission, knew or not, but before there was a change on the BDC management. BDC had practically come to a standstill before 2001 and 2000 and maybe latter part of 99. There was very little jobs created and very little momentum. We were mostly dealing with having to try to recuperate some of the money that had been allocated in the past to some of the bad projects that we had funded. These are little samples of the companies that are expanding in Brownsville. Cameron County Nursing and Rehabilitation, Carlin Technologies, L&L Leather, which is an automotive, Kilty Corporation, and Teleaircraft Aviation, which is out at the airport right now. Again, what we're trying to do now is even improve on what we're doing. These are some new jobs that we have, some new prospects that we have on the books. The New Tech Business Service Centers, which is a back office company. All-Star Metals LLC is a recycling company that's supposed to set up out at the port, commitment of 100 jobs. Ideal Academy is an educational service which is supposed to create 122 new jobs at a $15 an hour rate. These are companies that we're working with at the present time. We we name them, we specially name them so that we can protect the confidentiality that some of our clients prefer. Project Trace is applied to the maquiladores, which is supposed to create, according to them, 45 jobs at $11 an hour. Project Whitaker, 400+ jobs at $8.50 an hour. Project Ricky is a micro mill, which is supposed to create 340 jobs at $15 an hour. It's a project that we've been working for about 2 years, and they are about 3/4 of the way of being ready to act on making a decision of where they're going to relocate. Project Park is also another back office company, 450 jobs. And Project Florida is an aviation company that should create about 2,000+ jobs at about $20 an hour. And they are, we are in the forerunning to, as far as their decision of where they want to relocate or actually establish themselves. Focus on, when GBIC obviously is focused on bringing bring value-added jobs to our community. We want to make sure that the jobs that are created are not minimum jobs. We want to create jobs that require a little bit more high-tech, thus requiring higher pay. We want to get away from the minimum job point. We used to think that whatever job was created was good. Well, now that the university is also pulling out more students, we want to try to attract jobs that they can go right into and earning a decent wage instead of a minimum wage like they used to in the past.
Yeah, that's what he's saying.
There's a couple of things that obviously we need to focus on. Obviously continue to develop what is going on at the airport. We need to continue to support the efforts of the Port of Brownsville, which is crucial to what we think could happen in the next few years in Brownsville. ITEC has been a great addition to Brownsville. We need to ensure that we have sufficient land for industrial use and in specific areas, not just anywhere where anybody wants to set up a plant or a warehouse. I think we need to design areas where the industrial area town is going to be. Beginning the process with BDC review incentive program. Since we initiated the incentive, the performance-based incentive program, it has given us good results so that we have minimized the bad projects that we had funded. Well, we think that it's time also to improve on that. We want to be able to select and maybe go out there and select the jobs that we want to come into our community. Try not to bring too many investors into town, call centers. We want to make sure that we try to select different diverse businesses so that we can give a broad spectrum to the students, to the people that come out of the university that have diverse jobs available, not just one certain type of jobs. We're going to have engineers, we're going to have nursing, we're going to have accountants, architects, and all that. So what we're trying to focus on here is we're trying to improve on the procedure that we have right now, tighten up our requirements, and hopefully get to the point where we obviously set aside money for different projects also to help in the projects that the city might have at the airport, different entities in town. But also have like a budget so that once that money is allocated in that area, then that's it for the year. And we're in the process of setting that up in conjunction with the BDC and the president of the BDC right now. We hope to develop also a long-term plan for the future that would keep us from making mistakes in who we allocate our money to. We have to remember that we are dealing with the citizens of Brownsville money, and we need to take care of it. Okay, in conclusion, it's a quick briefing. In conclusion, just like to say that in the last few years, BDC, the port, the PUB, Matamoros, all the city commission, everybody has been working in conjunctions to improve things here in Brownsville. We have we're working on improving what we have in place right now for the plan for the next, hopefully next 5 or 10 years, in conjunction with whatever plans the city has, and obviously the port, the PUB. It's important that we all on the same page and that we're all working toward the same goals. And with that, if you have any questions, I'd like to entertain any.
I think you've covered everything, Mr. Herrera. I want to thank you and GBIC for all of their efforts over the last several years. I think we've certainly turned the corner, and the proof is in the pudding with regards to the amount of jobs, commitments, interest that the city now receives on a daily basis as opposed to what it used to be in the past. So I want to thank you and Jason and everybody at GBIC and at BEDC because of their efforts to make sure that we're bringing in the good jobs for the people in our community.
Well, sir, I just wanted to add, I know you and I are in constant communication, and you're always keeping me up to date with what's going on. But I'm happy to see that you did this presentation, so the rest of Brownsville can see what GBIC is doing.
Well, and it's important that that we all stay abreast. I know that a lot of times you can attend a lot of the meetings, or your commissioners. The same thing. I think it's important that we at least stay informed of what PUB is doing, what the port is doing, and what is going on, just so that we're all on the same track.
Absolutely. So thank you, and thank everybody on
Thank you.
GBIC on my
Thank you very
behalf.
much for your time.
Thank you.
All right. Mr. Cavler, Employee of the Month, May 2006.
Mayor and Commissioners, please help me welcome our Employee of the Month for May
Oralia Cavazos.
2006, Oralia Cavazos. Ms. Cavazos is a 21-year employee of our Health Department. She is considered very faithful and excellent. She offers the city tremendous customer and administrative skills that she shares with her fellow employees. She goes beyond her duties on a daily basis. She's got tremendous knowledge, experience, and dependability. And she's always at work. She's very healthy. Of course, she works at the health department. That explains. She's offered a lot of help to the employees. Now that we're at the City Plaza, she is actually helping some of the employees from the other departments, and we're very proud of her. And as Employee of the Month, she receives the traditional cap, our pin. Josh will make sure she has a healthy lunch for two. And of course, she gets our plaque. And she's eligible for Employee of the Month, Employee of the Year at our banquet in December. So,
Ms. Cavazos?
Congratulations.
I just want to say, Oralia is one of the humble and very faithful employees to the city that's been dedicating most of their lives to us there, and we're very grateful that she finally receives this award.
Ms. Cavazos, on behalf of the entire city, thank you for your service and your years in the future to continue serving us.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you and congratulations.
Item 2.
Item 2, consent agenda items A through C.
So move to approve.
Motion approved by Commissioner Nettles, seconded by Commissioner Arroyo. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Item 4.
Item 4, consideration and action to appoint one member to the Graffiti Advisory Committee.
Commissioner Camarillo, I believe this is my appointment, correct?
Yes, Mayor.
All right. I'd like to nominate Ms. Mirna Ayala Garza to the Graffiti Advisory Committee. Could I have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Camarillo. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Item 5.
Item 5, consideration and action to appoint or reappoint one new member to the Parks and Recreation Advisory Committee.
Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. I believe we're ready for this one this time.
I got him now. Anyways, I wanted to nominate Tony Saavedra. He's a small business owner, and he owns a store of sports apparel. And he's always been involved in sports and recreation activities, so I think he'd be a good member for this board.
Second.
Thank you.
Motion by Commissioner Nettles, seconded by Commissioner Hernandez. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries.
Appreciate it. We'll put him to work.
Put him to work.
Item 6.
Item 6, consideration and action to appoint one new member to the Brownsville Border Film Advisory Committee.
Mayor and Commissioners, I'd like to appoint, it's a very important position, I'd like to appoint Commissioner Carlos Cisneros.
Second.
Are you sure?
Thank you. Come on, Peter, we'll get to work
You
quick.
said important and then... All right, we have a
Actually,
motion
fine.
by Commissioner Hernandez to appoint
It's a
Commissioner
good one.
Cisneros, seconded by Commissioner Camarillo. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. We do like to have a little
You're
bit
gonna
of
vote
fun.
against, Mayor.
Well, he threw me off when he said important. Next time, oh yeah. Item
number
7.
Item number 7.
you, Commissioners.
Public hearing and action on first reading of ordinance number 235-2006-019 to rezone from dwelling A classification to light retail G classification, Lot 4 and west 9.5 feet of Lot 3 of Adrian Acres subdivision near Boca Chica Boulevard and Clubhouse Road.
Honorable Mayor and City Commissioners, this is a property shaded in red. You have Boca Chica Boulevard and Clubhouse Road here going to the north. In this particular case, the applicant would like to have his property rezoned to a commercial district. The Planning and Zoning Commission voted unanimously to approve this recommendation. This is a public hearing.
This is a public hearing.
So move to close.
Second.
Motion to close by Commissioner Zeta, seconded by Commissioner Longoria. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries to action.
Move to approve.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Cisneros,
Second.
seconded by Commissioner Arroyo. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Next item.
Item 8,
This is a
second,
public.
second public hearing on voluntary annexation and on service plan.
Honorable Mayor and City Commissioners, this is our second public hearing on our proposed voluntary annexation. This is the Rancho Zampatico development. It's on west part of Brownsville. This is military highway. The development does go on both sides of the highway. This is the line that city limits is today. The applicant is asking for the city to bring in this part into the city of Brownsville, which the whole development would then be as part of the city. Ms. Paula LaGrose is in the audience.
Could you quickly introduce her, just so everybody understands what this lady's doing for the city and this project?
LaGrose, she's from San Diego, California, owns the property and is developing this development that incorporates a lot of
Hi, Mayor and Commissioners. I'm really honored to be here. It's a property that my father acquired in 1947. He farmed it until 1955 when the money ran out, which is what many farmers do, and he left to California. But he hung on to it by his fingernails through good times and bad, much to my mother's chagrin many times. And this was his vision, that someday, it's still farmed today, but that someday it would become homes and parks.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you for being with us, and thank you for this project. Ben, is this correct, worded correctly? There's no action on this?
No.
What was it, week 3, right?
Yes, according
Okay.
to state law, the annexation requires 3 public.
That's right. All right. This is a public hearing?
To close? Motion.
Motion to close by Commissioner Longoria, seconded by Commissioner Camarillo. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. And item 9.
Item number 9, consideration and action to relocate the Sergeant Jose M. Lopez statue from the Veterans International Bridge Los Tomates to Veterans Park on Central Boulevard.
Oh, this is me. Okay. As many of you know, May the 29th is Memorial Day, and if you have not driven by Central Boulevard lately, our Veterans Park has finally come to fruition. At this time, I'd like to, first of all, invite every citizen of Brownsville, and especially our veterans and their families, to please join us for the dedication ceremonies that will begin taking place that morning. The events will start that morning, beginning at 8:30 for the silent march from the HEB on Central Boulevard to Veterans Park. The dedication ceremony will begin promptly at 10:30. Excuse me. After the dedication ceremony, we're going to have refreshments and performance and music, patriotic songs through the Air Force Band that we're hoping to bring down. In addition to that, we're going to have some very, very distinguished keynote speakers joining us that morning, and I hope that all of you will make an effort to be there. My expectation had been, and unfortunately probably many of you have never noticed, if you ever cross at Los Tomates, there is a statue honoring our Medal of Honor winner, Sergeant Jose M. Lopez, at Los Tomates, but it's off on the right-hand side, and unless you know where you're looking, you'll never see it. When we finally got Veterans Park off of the ground, I went to the Commissioner's Court at the Cameron County and asked if they would please consider transferring the location of the statue from where it is at Los Tomates to our Veterans Park, giving it a lot more publicity and awareness for our public, to let everybody know of our history and what wonderful events, what a courageous man Sergeant Lopez was. Thankfully, the Cameron County has approved that. Our expectation had been to unveil it at the time of our dedication ceremony, but because of the size of the statue and the intricacies involved in moving it, it's not going to be ready for the Memorial Day celebration and dedication, but that doesn't mean that we can't do it some other time. So this is an action item, and I would move to approve
I'll second.
the transfer of the Sergeant Jose M. Lopez statue from Veterans International Bridge, Los Tomates, to the Veterans Park on Central Boulevard. Seconded by Commissioner Neros. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Thank you for your support, and again, we hope to see all of you there. Item 10.
Item 10, consideration and action to authorize the use of Washington Park on July 29th, 2006, and the closure of Adams Street between 7th and 9th Streets beginning at 6 p.m. Friday, July 28th, 2006, through 11 a.m. Sunday, July 30th, 2006, for the 2006 Gulf Shrimp Fiesta.
Good evening, Commissioners and Mayor. It seems I'm back again for your permission.
Every time you come around, there's a party going on.
Yeah. 2 years ago, Sombrero Festival assisted at Gulf Shrimp Festival. And as a committee, we had agreed to move it back to Washington Park and back to the appropriate day that used to be taking place in July, the month of July. So we have designated July 29th, 2006 to host Gulf Shrimp Fiesta. It's a one-day festival. Our expectations are high, just like Sombrero Festival, but a little different venue. Aside from that, it's all for the people, again, you know. So I'm seeking permission to have a Gulf Shrimp Fiesta at Washington Park. And real quick, I don't know, we might have to come back or something for consumption of alcohol as well.
You have our blessing.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Commissioner Atkinson, are you interested in any of this?
I'm a motion to approve this one.
All right.
I'll second.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Atkinson and Commissioner Nettles. I think we're all going to remember what your first action was on to celebrate a party.
Thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
One quick
Tommy,
question.
good luck.
It's a one-day deal?
It's a one-day deal, all
It'll be
day Saturday.
Okay, all right.
It's going to be all day
7
Saturday.
to midnight.
Good luck, guys.
Thank you.
That's
Yeah.
right. Item 11.
You're going to be there, right?
Item 11, consideration and action on resolution number 2006-035 to accept the gift transfer of Rancho Simpatico Parkland to the City of Brownsville, adopting the master plan for said park, using said land gift transfer for state funding for public park and trail improvements of said Rancho Simpatico Parkland.
There's a resolution.
Honorable Mayor and City Commission, again, through this resolution for the project of Rancho Simpatico, through the trust, as Ms. LaGrose mentioned in the previous item, they will dedicate approximately 40 acres of land to the city for parks and trails. The development is 259 acres. The City of Brownsville will adopt the master plan for Rancho Simpatico through this resolution. And the City of Brownsville and the owner will sponsor a Texas Parks and Wildlife grant application, which will be due July 1st. And Robert, can you please put the master plan? And this is the master plan of the development. And as you can see, all the green is the parks, the land that will be dedicated to the City of Brownsville.
Hi, tonight's action is necessary for the first grant that we're requesting this year to the Texas Parks and Wildlife. And I don't have the pointer, but tonight.
Use your finger.
Just press it. So tonight's request is that this part be authorized for the Rancho Simpatico Parks and Trails. That's the part that will go in for the first grant. Talking to the grant writers from, I believe it's Langford Development out of Austin, they're doing the grant writing for us, a very successful group. They actually had 4 of the 7 grants that were approved last year they wrote. So, and they believe that this is a highly projected to be a successful project. Then they want to see this as a secondary project, and there's possible future trail grants as well. And that's why if in the master plan that you see them, some parts are dark and some parts are faded out, and the faded out are for future grant applications.
Ben, Commissioner Cisneros
Just-
noted
yeah,
that
just
the
let me
resolution number on the item action item
On
11.
our agenda's 20.
Different than the
yeah.
form resolution, so we need to make sure.
035 and this one's 036.
Is it supposed to be 035 or is it supposed to be 036?
Okay.
Okay,
Then
we'll check.
Is that a problem, Jim?
Sent what, uh-huh?
Jim, that's okay, we can correct it on the agenda?
Yes, sir.
I
It's
believe
just
we got that number from plan.
typographical error. It's not a problem.
Before the approval of the next meetings, we can have it corrected?
We'll
No,
correct
no,
that.
we can approve it tonight.
We can do it today?
Yeah, we just
Yes,
name it the
that
right
can
way.
be fixed, that's not a problem.
Before we approve, could I just, ma'am, on behalf of our city, along with my fellow commissioners, we want to thank you for what you're doing. And truly, Mayor and I were talking about this before we began the meeting. I had some concerns when I first read it, but I started looking at it, and you're setting a precedence for future projects to come. And I truly see that, you know, when somebody comes in to develop, and they start thinking about our environment,
That's
our
awesome.
community, you're trend setting. You're putting the mighty dollar before anything else. And, you know, your daddy granted you this land, and which is a wonderful thing for you. But at the same time, thank you for starting this and for, you know, showing our community that there are still people out there who care about our environment and care that, you know, the people that are going to live in your subdivision when it comes to be are going to have something beautiful, are going to have nature around them where they can take their children to walk in their nature trails, where they'll be able to hold a family picnic and enjoy the beautiful outdoors. So thank you for starting this.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
We're going to go ahead and,
Great quality of life.
this is an action item, and then as soon as we vote on this, I'd like to step down and take a photograph. As Commissioner Longoria said, you are setting the trend and a very important
Good job,
precedence for
Commissioner.
our entire community. All right, this is an action.
Move to approve.
Motion approved by Commissioner
Second.
Arroyo, seconded by Commissioner Cisneros. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries.
Let's.
Who asked you to get in the picture, Skip? Mayor, did you invite Skip? No. Good job, guys.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very, very much.
I'd just like to say one word before we move on. As the Parks and Rec Director, when she came to me with this plan, I thought this is great. This is what a lot of other cities have done for a long time. And like Commissioner Longoria says, this is the first, and I'd like to see other people take note of this. And when we start developing subdivisions and that, let's start thinking about parkland every time we do something. And I'd like to work this into a parkland dedication ordinance someday. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Sooner rather than later, Skip.
Good job, guys.
Next item.
12.
Item number 12, consideration and action to request funding in the amount of $25,000 for the 4th of July celebration.
Mayor, this is Mr. Mead from the Business Professionals, and this is the yearly request for the funding for the firework display.
Mayor, Commissioner, good evening. My name is Alex Mead. I'm with the South Texas Young Professionals, and thank you for allowing me to be here today. If you recall, last year this task was assigned to us to organize the 4th of July celebration for the city. This event is free to the public. I believe last year we attracted about 48,000 people from around the Brownsville and around the area. And like Mr. Kabler said, my purpose for being here today is to request funds for the 4th of July celebration. However, the actual amount is $30,000, not $25,000. If you recall, last year I had to request an additional $5,000, and again, I believe in the budget we have about $30,000 for the celebration. We will raise money again, and any money that's not used will go back to the city and used for other purposes.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion approved by Commissioner Atkinson, seconded by Commissioner Hernandez. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries.
He's just
Thanks.
approving
Keep
all.
it fun and keep it safe, Alex. Good luck.
Commissioner Atkinson's approving all the celebrations.
Next item.
Item number 13, consideration and action on a request for lease assignment from Johnson Electric Holding Limited to Silver Eagle Bus Manufacturing Incorporated.
Mayor, Commissioners, for some time, the city has owned property at the airport that is currently leased by Johnson Electric. There have been various proposals lately through staff concerning a proposed lease assignment. After discussions with representatives from both Johnson Electric and Silver Eagle Bus, I would like to describe a proposed motion on this action that would be recommended by staff for you all's consideration. It would be a motion to decline the proposed assignment of the existing lease agreement from Johnson Electric to Silver Eagle, but as an additional condition of this action, to approve a new lease agreement with paperwork to follow between City of Brownsville and Silver Eagle Bus Company for a 3-year period to commence June 1st, 2006 through May 31st, 2009 at the current monthly lease amount of $2,782 per month. That's an annual lease of $33,884. Additionally, the motion would include a approval from the Commission for the acquisition of the existing building on this property from Johnson Electric for a total amount of $658,000 with appropriate paperwork to follow.
I so move, Mayor.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Nettles, seconded by Commissioner Arroyo. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Jim. Item 14.
Item 14, consideration and action to authorize the acceptance and expenditure of the Texas Department of Transportation Selective Traffic Enforcement Program, Click It or Ticket, grant awarded to the Brownsville Police Department in the amount of $16,000.
Mayor, members of the commission, good evening. Texas Department of Transportation has awarded the Brownsville Police Department a grant in the amount of $16,000 for the period of May 22nd through June the 4th for the seatbelt enforcement program.
We'll take it, Chief. Make a motion to accept.
Second.
Motion to approve or accept by
16,000.
Commissioner Nettles, seconded by Commissioner Camarillo. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Next item.
Item 15, consideration and action to approve an interlocal billing agreement for waste collection services between the City of Brownsville and Olmito Water Supply.
Honorable Mayor, Commissioners, this agreement is to facilitate the billing of garbage-only accounts and to improve collections, focusing on those garbage-only accounts, which PUB currently helps us manage. We're talking about 200 accounts, small number. We've checked with PUB on this. They're okay with it. We have a similar agreement with El Jardín, and it just helps us with the collection process. We recommend for approval on this.
I'll do a motion to approve that.
Second.
Motion approved by Commissioner Atkinson, seconded by Commissioner Nettles. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. So it's not just about the party, it's good.
There you go.
Item 16.
Item 16, consideration and action to award a contract for landscape and irrigation improvements at the Land O'Lakes Triangle Project.
Honorable Mayor, Commissioners, at the request of the Beautification Committee Chair Maribel Bermudez Guerrero, the Purchasing Department solicited sealed bids for this project. Sealed bids were opened on April 19th. We received 4 bids and tabulated them. We had 1 non-responsive bid simply because they failed to include their bid bond. Our recommendation is to go with the otherwise low bidder, which would be Grass Unlimited. The amount is $19,950.
Any questions?
Motion approved.
Motion approved by Commissioner Camarillo,
It's a District 2 project,
Yeah.
seconded by Commissioner Atkinson. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Next item.
Item 17, consideration and action to authorize Phase 3 of the Community Broadband Infrastructure and Infrastructure Consolidation Recommendation Services contract for the City of Brownsville Management Information System Department.
Mayor and Commissioners, the IBM Corporation has concluded the Phase 2 scope of services for the city as presented during the workshop earlier this evening. Highlights of the recommendations are as follows. To upgrade the enterprise IT infrastructure with a resilient infrastructure designed to support internet and mobility applications and providing rapid recovery. Acquire an integrated city management system that would seamlessly blend finance and other city operations together. acquire a citywide wireless network to support mobile data applications for public safety and field workers, pursue the potential of wireless revenue-generating activities to offset the cost of operating the wireless network in the long term, and to implement 2 additional working groups, one for networking and one for document management to further improve city IT services. IBM further estimates the cost to realize the project now stands at the following amount. Phase 2 and Phase 3 of the Enterprise Modernization Project were estimated to cost $6.6 million. Phase 2 was delivered to the city on budget at $568,000. The Phase 3 budget to complete the project then is $5.68 million. The next step. Staff has worked diligently with the consulting team to streamline this project, focusing on realistic goals that will provide the highest level of customer service possible. IBM team leader Billy Haynes and our MIS director Gail Brusiak will describe the implementation plan for the 3rd and final phase of this major project.
During Phase 3 of this project, IBM will conduct 3 major thrusts for this. We'll complete and oversee the implementation of a new application for the city, which will provide a more integrated and more efficient solution for city staff to provide city services. The second thrust is to provide a new IT computing infrastructure, which is far more resilient and protects the city's data in the event of a disaster. And third thrust of the project will be to provide wireless mobility services for public safety and field workers so they can provide better services out in the community.
We're gonna see.
Our recommendation to you this evening then is consideration and action to authorize Phase 3 of the Community Broadband Infrastructure and Infrastructure Consolidation Recommendation Services, commonly known as our Enterprise Modernization Project, for the City of Brownsville Management Information System and all other departments as well. This will be to International Business Machines, IBM, of Austin, Texas. The amount of this 3rd phase award is $3,895,000. $895,597. The breakdown of these costs are into 3 sections. We have service labor, which is 11,218 hours, and these are to be paid to the variety of the IBM consulting team, which is really broken into 3 groups. The average blended hourly rate is $207.50. The estimated non-IBM hardware and software procurement as outlined in Appendix C of your agenda item is $587,862. This will give us the remaining infrastructure components that we need for the project. And also estimated IBM hardware procurement as outlined, totaling $980,000, which will be the real guts of the system and the servers and whatnot. After doing that, it leaves us with a balance of $1,784,403 to complete the project, and that will be dedicated to the wireless component of the project. And we're working with the wireless team, and they are very comfortable that they can deliver us the wireless network for that budget item. The time frame, as explained before, is about 1 year to 14 months. This will start immediately. It's concurrent with the conclusion of Phase 2. Staff is interviewing firms, the 2 finalist firms for the software solutions, and then we will move on to the hardware components after we've decided on the software and what platform it best works on. So our recommendation is that you award this to IBM, $3,895,597.
I move to approve.
Motion approved by Commissioner Longoria, seconded by Commissioner Arroyo. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Good luck. Item 18.
Item 18, consideration and action to award a term contract for the purchase and delivery of uniforms for the Brownsville Police Department.
Mayor and Commissioners, at the request of our Police Chief Carlos Garcia, the Purchasing Department solicited formal sealed bids for this project. These bids were opened on March 30th. A total of 5 bids were received and tabulated by the Purchasing Department. Our recommendation to you this evening is to award this contract to Galls Incorporated. They are the incumbent contractor. We have done business with them for a number of years. They were the low overall bidder on this project. Police Department anticipates an expenditure of approximately $88,741 per year. They have budget remaining for the second part of our fiscal year this year.
Any questions?
Move to approve.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Arroyo, seconded by Commissioner Camarillo. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Item 19.
Item 19, consideration and action to award a contract for stormwater improvements for the 29th year Community Development Block Grant Garden Park Watershed Project.
Mayor Commissioners, as you might recall, during March, we recommended and you authorized that we reject bids on this project originally. Those bids came in way over budget. Since that time, we have worked, staff has worked with consulting engineers to develop new bid specifications, to change the thrust of the project somewhat, but not the overall conclusion, just the way we get to it. We rebid the project. Those bids were opened on May 2nd. We received a total of 3 bids for the project. Our recommendation this evening then is award of the contract for stormwater improvements for 29th year CDBG Garden Park Watershed Project to the low bidder, R.M. Walsdorf, a Brownsville firm. The amount is $870,676.
Well, this is a very, very important project to the west side of our town. I don't mean to question, but were engineers' calculations on it? When, in your opinion?
The engineer's estimate for this was about $842,000, slightly less than what the bids came in. We did receive a good selection of bids. The Walsdorf company is a well-established company. They're established out of the Port of Brownsville. I think that they were very close to the engineering estimate, which I think is accurate based on the way we have reconfigured the project, Commissioner. What we're going to do is we're going to use Public Works to do some of the work, and we have split out some of the components in this, namely the actual pumps that will go into the pump station, and those will be bid separately and are being bid separately. So this package will get us where we need to be, in my opinion.
Any other questions?
Mayor, with that, it's a long time overdue. Can't wait. This is going to help the people in my area, and I would like to make the motion to approve.
Motion approved by Commissioner Camarillo, seconded by Commissioner Cisneros. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Thank you, Paul. Item 20.
Item 20, consideration and action to award an indefinite quantity term contract for moderate home rehabilitation services on a rotation basis for the Planning and Community Development Department.
Mayor and Commissioners, at the request of our Planning and Community Development Director, Ben Medina, the Purchasing Department solicited formal sealed proposals for this project. The sealed proposals were received and acknowledged on May 2nd. A total of 3 proposals were received and distributed to our Evaluation Committee for their review. Contract negotiations were initiated on May 8th with all 3 ranked firms as stipulated in the RFP under the general intent requirements, terms, and conditions. As a result of this negotiation process, the recommended contractors and the Planning and Community Development Department have reached a satisfactory working agreement, both in terms of project cost as well as the scope of services to be rendered. I'd like to point out this is a little different than other projects we've done in that we're creating a rotation list for contractors. And you might wonder how we established a common pay schedule to use with these 3 contractors. There is a table called the RS means table that is used nationwide, and what it does is it establishes a schedule of values for payment for different types of work to be done in a project. A lot of firms use this to establish what they will be paying their subcontractors as well as the labor force. So we took the 3 bids and we averaged them, and we found that we were very close to the numbers that are published in the RS means table for our particular geographic area. We met with the firms and they agreed to accept that. One of the firms was happy because he was getting a little bit more. One of the firms maybe not so happy because he was getting a little bit less. But in the end it worked out, and they understand that they will be getting equal shares of work, and we will distribute the work equally so that at the end of this contract, it will be consistent with all three firms.
Let me ask you this, Paul, because the way the item is worded, to award an indefinite quantity, that's not necessarily, we don't know how many homes can be built or we're going to build.
We don't have that accurate count, and we don't have a specific dollar value that we're going to pay the firms. What we do have is a budget item of $200,000, and we will stay within that budget. And using this table, we will be able to keep the pricing consistent on all of the different houses that we rehab.
Any other questions? All right, action item.
Would approve.
Motion approved by Commissioner Longoria, seconded by Commissioner Hernandez. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Is there any comments?
Stella, no public comments?
No, sir.
All right. One more time, congratulations to our newest commissioner, Commissioner Atkinson. We look forward to working.
Thank you.